was your favorite victory on the mat and off the mat?
Went to Russia in front of 10,000 Russians one time, and it was a big match in the tournament. And all of a sudden, we went out of bounds, and the Russian walked out of the arena. It was a tough match. I just pulled ahead of him by one. There's still 2 minutes to go in the match yet, and he walked out of the arena. And when he walked out of the arena, he basically said, "No more, no mas." He gave up, and all of a sudden, there's 10,000 of fans of his that went crazy, and I didn't know if they were going to come down and get me or beat me up or whatever. But my coach put his arm around me and just said, "Hey, they're yelling your name. You just can't understand it because they're not saying Gable. They're not saying Gable. They're saying Gable, Gable, and they're cheering for you." And that moment was a big moment, when you got 10,000 people that are actually anti you, and you just beat one of their best guys, and they're cheering for you, and that shows a lot. But obviously, the going unscored upon at the Munich Olympics was one that is kind of pasted into history. But let me tell you, being a coach and coaching you to a championship means an unbelievable lot to me, because even though you may not have always liked what I did for you in practices, because I ran you pretty hard and I worked you hard, and sometimes you might cuss me out a little bit. All of a sudden, when you had that victory, a big victory, there was somebody in the stands that loved you. And I could look and I could find where they were sitting, and the look on their face with a victory because of you was the most satisfying thing that I could have. Even more than you, because those are the people that loved and took care of you. And that means a lot. So sometimes when you go out to wrestle and you got people in the stands, usually, that you can make them pretty happy. But you can also not really hurt them, but make them feel a little sad. They're for you one way or the other. But I'll tell you, victories in wrestling, they mean a lot. They mean a lot. It's not just like a team situation. It's an individual thing that this coach kept me in coaching for a long time. All right.
Did you have any favorite victories off the mat? Maybe not specifically on, in competition?
Favorite off the mat was keeping my mom and dad when I was a kid together for their whole lives. Believe it or not, they may not know this, but I had a sister that was murdered right in my own house. And there was no way from this kid that was 15 years old that there was no way that this mom and dad were going to stay together after that. But they did. And a lot of that was drive just to keep them together. But I would say that experience was probably the biggest victory in my life, keeping them together. Yeah.
That's a good one for sure.